Hello, everyone, and welcome. Because of so much happening in Kingdom Hearts 2, I'm gonna do 2, maybe 3 videos of this story. It depends. But let's get into it. With Kingdom Hearts 4 on its way, now is the perfect time to continue our journey through the story of every Kingdom Hearts game. Last time, we went back to the beginning with Kingdom Hearts 1. We followed Sora from the peaceful shores of Destiny Islands, through the fall of his world, his journey with Donald and Goofy, his battle against Ansem, and the moment he learned one of the most important truths in the entire series. There is always a door to the light. But Kingdom Hearts 2 does not begin with Sora. It begins with someone else. A boy named Roxas. And if Kingdom Hearts 1 was the story of a boy discovering the power of the heart, Kingdom Hearts 2 is the story of what happens when hearts, memories, and identity begin to break apart. The game opens in Twilight Town, a warm and golden place that feels peaceful at first. Roxas is spending the last days of summer vacation with his friends Hayner, Pence, and Olette. They want to hang out, make memories, eat sea salt ice cream, and enjoy the little time they have left before school starts again. But something is wrong. Roxas keeps having strange dreams. He sees memories that do not seem to belong to him. He sees Sora's journey from the first game. He sees the Keyblade. He sees Donald, Goofy, Kairi, Riku, and the world Sora visited. But Roxas does not understand why he is seeing any of this. At first, his days seem normal. He and his friends plan to enter the Struggle Tournament, a local competition in Twilight Town. Roxas fights Hayner, Vivi, and Setzer during this event, and these early battles are not huge story boss fights, but they teach us how Roxas moves, attacks, and reacts under pressure. Then the strange white creatures appear. These are Nobodies. Unlike the Heartless, which are born from the darkness in people's hearts, Nobodies are what can remain when someone with a strong heart loses that heart. They are empty shells, beings that should not exist, but still move, think, and act. Roxas is attacked by Dusks, and the Keyblade appears in his hand. He does not know why he can wield it, but he uses it to defend himself. Then he meets Axel. Axel wears the black coat of Organization XIII, and he clearly knows Roxas. He speaks to him like they were once close friends, but Roxas does not remember him. Axel is hurt by this, angry even, because to him, Roxas is not just some random kid. Roxas was part of the organization. Roxas was his friend. As the Twilight Town days continue, the truth begins to reveal itself. Roxas's Twilight Town is not the real Twilight Town. It is a digital simulation created to hide Roxas and keep him safe until he can merge back with Sora. Roxas eventually reaches the old mansion, where he meets Naminé. She tells him that he is a nobody. More specifically, he is Sora's nobody, created when Sora became a Heartless in Kingdom Hearts 1 after releasing Kairi's heart from his own. That means Roxas is connected to Sora in a way he never asked for. He has his own memories, his own friendships, his own feelings, but his existence is tied to Sora waking up. The final part of Roxas's prologue becomes emotional and painful. He fights Axel one more time, and Axel desperately tries to stop him. The boss fight against Axel is more intense than the earlier battles. Axel uses fire, quick movements, and circular attacks that make the arena feel dangerous. Roxas fights him with the Keyblade, and even though Axel still cares about him, the fight proves that Roxas's path is leading somewhere Axel cannot follow. Finally, Roxas reaches the hidden basement of the mansion. There, he sees Sora, Donald, and Goofy sleeping in pods. They have been asleep since the events of Kingdom Hearts' Chain of Memories, recovering their memories after Naminé rearranged them. Roxas faces Diz, a mysterious man wrapped in red. Diz sees Roxas only as something that must return to Sora. Roxas is angry, confused, and heartbroken. He does not want to disappear. But in the end, Roxas merges with Sora. And Sora wakes up. This is where Kingdom Hearts 2 truly begins. Sora, Donald, and Goofy wake in Twilight Town with no memory of Roxas, no clear memory of Castle Oblivion, and no idea that they have been asleep for a year. Jiminy Cricket checks his journal and finds that most of it is blank except for one message: "Thank Naminé." The trio meets Hayner, Pence, and Olette. in the real Twilight Town. They do not fully understand why they feel connected, but there is a quiet sadness between them. Roxas is gone, but pieces of his summer still echo in the town. King Mickey appears briefly and tells Sora, Donald, and Goofy to board a train. That train takes them to the mysterious tower, where they meet Yen Sid, Mickey's former master. Yen Sid explains the new threat. The Heartless are still out there, but now Sora must also face Nobodies and Organization XIII. Organization XIII is a group of powerful Nobodies who want to gather hearts. Their plan is tied to Kingdom Hearts itself, and Sora's Keyblade is central to that plan because every Heartless he defeats releases a heart. This is one of the most important twists in Kingdom Hearts 2. Sora thinks he is simply fighting darkness and helping people, but Organization XIII is watching him because his victories help their goal. Every Heartless defeated by the Keyblade brings them closer to completing their own Kingdom Hearts. Before Sora leaves the tower, Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather give him new clothes. This unlocks Drive Forms, one of the biggest gameplay additions in Kingdom Hearts 2. Drive Forms allows Sora to temporarily transform by using the power of his party members. Valor Form focuses on physical attacks, Wisdom Form focuses on magic and movement, Master Form mixes both, and later forms become even more powerful. With new clothes, new powers, and a new mission, Sora, Donald, and Goofy begin traveling the worlds again. When Sora, Donald, and Goofy arrive in Hollow Bastion for the first visit in Kingdom Hearts 2, the world feels very different from the last time they were there. In Kingdom Hearts 1, Hollow Bastion was dark, lonely, and dangerous. It was Maleficent's base, filled with strange machinery, rising platforms, powerful Heartless, and emotional moments tied to Riku, Kairi, and the Keyblade. But in Kingdom Hearts 2, Hollow Bastion is changing. It is no longer just a ruined castle swallowed by darkness. It is becoming a town again. Sora, Donald, and Goofy arrive in the marketplace, and Goofy quickly notices that the world looks different. The area is under construction, with shops, stairways, and rebuilt sections showing that people are trying to restore the world after everything that happened before. This is the first major idea of Hollow Bastion's first visit, recovery. The world is not fully healed yet, but people are working to bring it back. Sora can speak to the Moogle, visit the shops, and run into Scrooge McDuck, who is trying to work on his ice cream business. This small detail helps show that life is returning to Hollow Bastion. It is not only a battlefield anymore. People are shopping, rebuilding, experimenting, and trying to make the world feel normal again. But that peace does not last long. As Sora, Donald, and Goofy move into the burrow, they run into Yuffie. She is part of the group helping rebuild Hollow Bastion, and she introduces Sora to the town's automated defense system. This defense system uses light-like energy to help attack enemies during battle, showing that the Restoration Committee is not just rebuilding buildings, they are also preparing the town to defend itself. Then the Nobodies appear. This is important because Sora is still learning what Nobodies are. He already fought some strange white creatures earlier, but now they are appearing in Hollow Bastion as a real threat. Unlike the Heartless, Nobodies move in strange, twisting ways. They feel empty, unnatural, and unpredictable. Sora, Donald, and Goofy fight through the Nobodies in the burrow. This encounter is not a major boss fight, but it matters because it shows that Organization XIII's influence is spreading. Hollow Bastion is dealing with both Heartless and Nobodies now, which means the threat is bigger than what Sora faced in the first game. After the battle, Yuffie gives Sora the marketplace map and sends the group deeper into town toward Merlin's house. Inside Merlin's house, Sora reunites with familiar faces. Leon, Yuffie, Aerith, Sid, and Merlin. Together, they have formed the Hollow Bastion Restoration Committee. Their goal is to rebuild Hollow Bastion and restore it to what it used to be before darkness took over. This is one of the most important parts of the first visit because it shows that the people Sora helped before did not just sit around waiting for someone else to save them. Leon and the others are actively rebuilding their home. They are fighting back in their own way. They even make Sora, Donald, and Goofy honorary members of the Restoration Committee. Aerith gives them membership cards, which officially connects them to the work being done in Hollow Bastion. Then Merlin asks Sora about his magic. Because Sora has been asleep for a year, he has forgotten some of what he knew. His old abilities and spells are not all available anymore. Merlin helps him by giving him the Blizzard element, allowing Sora to use Blizzard magic again. This is also a good story detail because it shows how Sora's sleep affected him. He is still the same Sora, but he is not exactly where he was at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1. He has to rebuild his own strength at the same time Hollow Bastion is rebuilding itself. After the reunion, Leon tells Sora to meet him at the Bailey. Sora leaves Merlin's house and heads back through the burrow toward the Bailey. This area is important because it sits near the edge of the town's defenses. When Sora arrives, he meets Leon there, and the two prepare to protect the gates. Then a wave of Nobodies attacks. This becomes the main battle of Hollow Bastion's first visit. It is not a traditional boss fight, but it functions like the world's big combat event. Sora has to fight alongside Leon while protecting the gates from being destroyed. Donald and Goofy are not part of the party during this battle, so Sora cannot rely on them for support. Instead, he fights with Leon, showing that the Restoration Committee is willing to stand beside him directly. The enemies include Nobodies like Dusks, Creepers, and Samurai. The Samurai Nobodies are especially dangerous because they can deal heavy damage and threaten the gate quickly. Sora has to stay aggressive, use his new Blizzard spell when useful, and rely on reaction commands to control the fight. The reversal reaction command helps Sora slip around Dusks and avoid their strange movements. Against Samurai Nobodies, Sora can trigger Dual Stance, where the command menu changes and he must quickly select the End to defeat the enemy with a powerful reaction attack. The whole fight is about pressure. Sora is not just trying to survive, he is defending the town itself. If the gates take too much damage, the battle is lost. That makes this fight feel different from a regular enemy encounter. Hollow Bastion is under construction, still fragile, and Sora has to help protect its future. After Sora and Leon defeat the Nobodies, Sora receives the fire element, giving him fire magic. This continues the idea that Sora is slowly regaining the strength he lost after sleeping for a year. Then the story shifts toward Organization XIII. After the battle, Sora has a brief encounter connected to the organization. The black-coated figures remain mysterious, but it becomes clear that they are watching Sora and that the Nobodies are tied to something much bigger. Sora does not fully understand their plan yet, but Hollow Bastion's first visit makes it clear that the organization is not just a small side threat. They are moving through the worlds, and they know about Sora. Then Sora's membership card reacts. The Keyblade's light reveals new paths on the world map, allowing Sora, Donald, and Goofy to continue their journey to other worlds. This is how Hollow Bastion works as a central hub in Kingdom Hearts 2. It is not only a world with its own story, it is also a place Sora returns to again and again as the larger plot unfolds. By the end of the first visit, Hollow Bastion has established several important things. First, the world is being rebuilt. Leon, Yuffie, Aerith, Sid, and Merlin are no longer just survivors of a ruined world. They are now the Hollow Bastion Restoration Committee, actively fighting to bring their home back. Second, Nobodies are now a major threat. Sora has fought Heartless before, but the appearance of Nobodies shows that the enemy has changed. Organization XIII is moving in the background, and Sora is only beginning to understand what they are. Third, Sora is rebuilding too. Just like Hollow Bastion, he is recovering from what happened before. He has been asleep for a year, he has forgotten abilities, and he has to regain his magic and strength step by step. And finally, Hollow Bastion's first visit sets the tone for Kingdom Hearts 2's larger story. This is not just about saving worlds from darkness anymore. Now Sora is caught between Heartless, Nobodies, Organization XIII, and the mystery of what happened while he was asleep. There is no traditional boss at the end of this first visit, but the Bailey Gate defense battle serves as the main action climax. Sora and Leon fighting side by side to protect the town shows exactly what Hollow Bastion represents in Kingdom Hearts 2. A damaged world trying to stand again. A group of friends rebuilding what darkness destroyed. And Sora stepping back into his role as a hero, one battle one spell, and one restored path at a time. When Sora, Donald, and Goofy arrive in the Land of Dragons for the first time, the world immediately feels different. This is not a peaceful kingdom or a magical town. This is a land preparing for war. The trio lands in the Bamboo Grove, where they meet Mushu and a young soldier named Ping. At first, Ping appears to be a nervous new recruit trying to join the Imperial Army. But Sora, Donald, and Goofy quickly learn the truth. Ping is actually Mulan, disguised as a man so she can take her father's place in the army. Mulan is not trying to deceive people for selfish reasons. She is trying to protect her family. Her father is injured and too old to go to war, so she takes his armor, cuts her hair, and joins the army in his place. Mushu wants Sora's group to help her keep the secret, so they decide to support her as she tries to prove herself. From the beginning, Mulan struggles. She wants to do the right thing, but she is not accepted right away. When the group reaches the army's encampment, they meet Captain Li Shang, who is leading the Imperial troops. Shang is serious, disciplined, and focused on preparing his soldiers for the threat of Shan Yu, the leader of the Han army. Shang does not trust Ping right away. To prove that Ping is worthy of serving in the army, Sora and Ping have to complete a series of missions. These missions introduce the morale gauge, which represents the party's fighting spirit. If Sora takes too much damage or does not defeat enemies quickly enough, morale drops. To keep morale up, Sora has to defeat Heartless and collect the orbs they drop. This is important because it fits the story. Sora is not just fighting for himself here. He is fighting as part of an army. He has to keep the group's morale alive and prove that Ping can stand with the soldiers. The first missions involve fighting Heartless around the encampment and checkpoint. Sora, Donald, Goofy, and Ping fight enemies like Nightwalkers, Shadows, and Assault Riders. The Assault Riders are especially dangerous because they attack with long-reaching weapons and can quickly drain the morale gauge if Sora is careless. After completing the missions, Shang begins to see that Ping has potential. He may not fully trust her yet, but Ping has proven enough to move forward with the army. The next part of the visit takes Sora's group up the mountain trail. The army is trying to reach the summit, but Heartless blocked the path. Sora has to fight through enemies while moving forward before the morale gauge runs out. Along the way, large rock walls block the path, and Sora uses reaction commands like Rock Shatter to break through them and keep climbing. This section feels like a test of endurance. Sora and Ping are not in a normal arena. They are pushing up a mountain during wartime, trying to keep moving even while enemies attack from every direction. Eventually, the troops reach the village, where they set up camp. Mushu tells the group that Shan Yu may be hiding in a nearby cave, so Sora and Ping go to investigate. Inside the village cave, Sora and Ping are suddenly trapped and forced to fight without Donald and Goofy. This makes the battle feel more intense because Sora does not have his usual full party. He also cannot use Valor form because Goofy is not with him. The fight begins with shadows, but eventually stronger enemies like Assault Riders appear. This cave ambush is a major story moment for Mulan because she is still trying to prove she belongs. Even though Ping is not the strongest fighter yet, she refuses to back down. Sora carries most of the fight, but Ping stays with him, showing courage even when the odds are against them. After surviving the ambush, the group returns to the village and finds devastation. The area has been attacked, and the threat of Shan Yu becomes much more serious. The party moves toward the ridge and continues up to the summit. At the summit, Shan Yu appears with a massive swarm of Heartless. This is not a normal boss fight, but it is one of the biggest combat events of the first visit. Sora has to survive for a set amount of time while Heartless, like Rapid Thrusters and Bolt Towers, flood the area. The Rapid Thrusters attack in huge numbers, and Sora can use reaction commands like Speed Trap and Arrow Blade to pull them together and knock them away. The Bolt Towers attack with lightning and shock waves, and Sora has to stay moving, jump over attacks, and use reaction commands when possible. During this chaos, Mulan takes action. She causes an avalanche that wipes out the enemy forces at the summit. This is the moment where Mulan's courage shines. She saves everyone, but in the process, her disguise is revealed. Shang and the soldiers discover that Ping is actually Mulan. Even though she saved them, Shang feels betrayed because she lied about who she was. Instead of accepting her as a hero, he leaves her behind. The army continues toward the Imperial City without her. This is one of the most emotional parts of the Land of Dragons' first visit. Mulan did everything she could to protect China. She fought, survived, and saved the army. But because she broke tradition and hid her identity, she is rejected. Sora, Donald, and Goofy stay with her. This is important because Sora understands what it means to stand by someone when others turn away. Mulan may feel like she has failed, but Sora's group does not see her that way. They know she is brave. They know she saved everyone. And they know the fight is not over. Soon after, they realize Shan Yu survived the avalanche and is heading toward the Imperial City. Shang and the army do not know the danger is still coming, so Mulan decides to go after Shan Yu herself. This time, she no longer hides as Ping. She returns as Mulan, fighting as herself. The group travels down the mountain and reaches the Imperial City. In Imperial Square, Heartless attack again. Sora, Donald, Goofy, and Mulan fight through enemies like Nightwalkers and Bolt Towers while rushing toward the palace. Mulan is stronger now, and her abilities unlock more of her true fighting style. She can use powerful fire-based attacks with Mushu, including her limit command, making her much more useful in battle. After clearing the Imperial Square, the group reaches the palace gate, where Shan Yu is trying to force his way into the palace. This leads to the main boss fight of the world, Shan Yu and Hayabusa. The fight is not only about defeating Shan Yu. Sora also has to protect the palace gate. Shan Yu summons Heartless, especially Nightwalkers, and they try to attack the gate. If the gate's defense gauge runs out, the battle is lost. Because of this, Sora cannot focus only on Shan Yu. He has to watch the gate, defeat the Heartless, collect morale orbs, and then return to attacking Shan Yu. Shan Yu fights with quick sword attacks, heavy strikes, and fast charges. He is aggressive, and if Sora blocks certain attacks, reaction commands can trigger. Sora can use press and then takedown to push Shan Yu back and create an opening for combos. This makes the fight feel like a clash of strength and timing. Shan Yu is also supported by his falcon, Hayabusa. The bird flies around the battlefield and attacks Sora, sometimes interrupting his focus. Sora can attack Hayabusa, but the main goal is still to defeat Shan Yu while protecting the gate. As the battle continues, Shan Yu becomes more dangerous. He surrounds himself with dark energy and attacks more aggressively. This shows how closely he is tied to the darkness and how desperate he is to break through the palace defenses. Mulan's role in this fight is important. This is her chance to prove herself not as Ping, not as someone pretending to fit into the army, but as Mulan. She stands beside Sora and helps stop Shan Yu from invading the palace. Once Shan Yu is defeated, the Imperial City is saved. After the battle, the Emperor recognizes Mulan's courage. Even though she was rejected earlier, her actions prove that she is a true hero. She protected China, saved the palace, and stopped Shan Yu when no one else realized the danger was still alive. For Sora, Donald, and Goofy, this world is about more than defeating Heartless. It is about watching someone fight for the right to be seen for who she truly is. Mulan begins the world hiding behind the name Ping because she believes that is the only way she can protect her father and serve her country. But by the end of the visit, she no longer needs the disguise. She saves China as herself. The first visit to the Land of Dragons is a story about courage, honor, identity, and proving that strength does not always look the way people expect it to. Mulan is not accepted at first, but she keeps going. She makes mistakes, but she does not quit. And when the moment comes to protect everyone, she rises to the challenge. By defeating Shan Yu, Sora and Mulan protect the Imperial City, restore peace for the moment, and open the path forward to the next world. Sora receives the hidden dragon Keyblade, and the journey continues. The Land of Dragons' first visit shows one of Kingdom Hearts II's strongest early lessons. Sometimes the world may not understand who you are at first, but courage means standing up anyway. Mulan proves that her heart is strong, and Sora helps her show that true honor comes from doing what is right, even when no one believes in you yet. When Sora, Donald, and Goofy return to the Land of Dragons for the second visit, the world is already tense. China was saved during the first visit, Mulan proved herself as a hero, and Shan Yu was defeated. But now, a new threat appears in the mountains. The visit begins in the village, where Donald spots a mysterious figure in a black coat. This immediately catches Sora's attention because black coats are connected to Organization XIII. Before Sora can get answers, the figure runs away. Mulan arrives soon after, and she reveals that she has also been following the man in black. She is now fully accepted as herself, no longer hiding behind the name Ping, and she joins Sora's group again to investigate. This already shows how much Mulan has grown since the first visit. She is not trying to prove herself anymore. She is acting as one of China's protectors. Sora, Donald, Goofy, and Mulan chase the mysterious man up the mountain. They pass through the ridge, fighting Dusks and Heartless along the way, until they reach the summit. At the summit, the man in black appears again, but he is not alone. A swarm of rapid thrusters fills the area, turning the scene into a chaotic battlefield. Sora is forced into a fight with the mysterious figure while Heartless fly around them. This is the first major battle of the second visit, the man in the black coat. The fight is strange because the man does not act like a normal villain. He is powerful, but he does not feel fully aggressive. He uses quick melee attacks, dash attacks, shockwave-style strikes, and dark energy. He also carries a weapon that gives away his true identity to the player, Soul Eater, Riku's weapon. The man in the black coat is actually Riku. Sora does not fully understand what is happening in the moment, but the fight is important because it quietly brings Riku back into the story. Riku has been moving in the shadows, hiding his appearance and helping from a distance. He is not trying to hurt Sora. He is trying to stay hidden while dealing with his own darkness and his own mission. During the battle, Sora has to manage both Riku and the rapid thrusters. The rapid thrusters can be used against the mysterious man with reaction commands like Speed Trap, which can help clear the flying enemies and create openings. The fight ends before Sora can get the full truth, and the man disappears. But there is no time to chase him. A much bigger problem appears. An enormous Heartless is heading toward the Imperial City. Sora's group realizes that China is in danger again, and they rush down the mountain to warn the Emperor and Shang. This gives the second visit a strong sense of urgency. The first visit was about stopping Shan Yu's army. The second visit is about protecting the Imperial City from a giant Heartless attack. The group travels back through the village, down the mountain trail, and toward the checkpoint. Along the way, stronger Heartless appear, including Neo Shadows, Nightwalkers, Emerald Blues, Air Pirates, and Assault Riders. These enemies show that the world has become more dangerous since the first visit. When Sora reaches Imperial Square, he is ambushed by another group of Heartless. This battle is not the final boss, but it is an important event fight because it shows the Heartless are already closing in on the palace. Sora has to clear the square before moving forward. Enemies like Bolt Towers can be dangerous because of their shockwave attacks, so the player has to stay focused, use reaction commands, and keep the party alive. After clearing the Heartless, Sora heads into the palace. Inside the antechamber, Sora sees another man in a black coat. At first, it looks like it might be the same person from the mountain, but it is not. This time, the man is Xigbar, a member of Organization XIII. Xigbar's appearance is important because it confirms that the organization is involved in what is happening. He does not stay and fight Sora directly here. Instead, he taunts Sora and summons Nobodies to attack him before disappearing. This leads to another event battle, this time against Sniper Nobodies and Dusks. The snipers are dangerous because they teleport around the room and fire laser shots from a distance. Their attacks can pause in the air before flying towards Sora. This is where the Warp Snipe reaction command becomes important. Sora can use Warp Snipe to deflect their shots back at them, turning their own attacks against them. This fight is a strong organization-style battle. It is not about brute force alone. It is about reacting at the right time, using the enemy's rhythm against them, and showing that the Nobodies are a very different threat from the Heartless. After defeating the Nobodies, Sora reaches the throne room, where he meets the Emperor and Li Shang. The Emperor understands that the situation is serious, and Shang is still standing as a protector of China. Mulan is also there, now fully recognized for her bravery. But the danger outside is not over. The giant Heartless has arrived. Sora, Donald, Goofy, and Mulan head back outside to face the final boss of the Land of Dragon's second visit, Storm Rider. Storm Rider is a massive dragon-like Heartless that flies over the Imperial City. This boss fight is one of the most cinematic battles in the world because the enemy spends most of the fight in the air. Sora cannot simply stand on the ground and attack normally. He has to use the environment to reach the boss. The battle begins with Sora on or near Storm Rider's body, and he has to attack its weak points while holding on during its movements. When Storm Rider tries to throw him off, Sora can use the Hang On reaction command to grab onto the dragon's horns and avoid being tossed away. After the flip, he can use Let Go and continue attacking. When Storm Rider moves high above the battlefield, Sora has to use the whirlwinds around Imperial Square. These whirlwinds launch him into the air, allowing him to land on the boss's back or reach its head. This makes the fight feel like a battle for control of the sky. Storm Rider attacks with lightning, bombing runs, and sweeping dives across the battlefield. When it flies low, Sora can trigger reaction commands like Slide and Vertigo Toss, allowing him to counter the dragon's movement and bring it down. These reaction commands make the fight feel dramatic because Sora is not just dodging the boss, he is using the boss's momentum against it. Later in the battle, Storm Rider lands and creates walls of electricity, trapping Sora in a smaller space. It charges a powerful lightning beam from its mouth, and Sora has to move out of the way, usually by staying toward the side near its wings. This final stretch makes the fight more intense because the battlefield becomes tighter and the boss's attacks become more dangerous. Once Storm Rider is defeated, China is saved again. The Emperor, Shang, and Mulan are safe, and the giant Heartless threat is gone. This victory also gives Sora an upgrade to his Thunder magic, turning it into Thundera, while Goofy gains Tornado Fusion, a new limit ability. The second visit to the Land of Dragons is shorter than the first visit, but it is still important to the larger Kingdom Hearts 2 story. It brings Riku back into the plot without fully revealing everything yet. It shows that Riku is alive, moving through the worlds, and hiding behind the black coat. It also shows that Organization XIII is still watching Sora, with Sigbar appearing inside the palace and sending Nobodies after him. For Mulan, the second visit shows her growth after the first visit. She is no longer trying to prove that she belongs. She already proved herself. Now she stands as a warrior who protects her world without needing a disguise. For Sora, this visit adds more mystery. He almost reaches Riku, but Riku disappears again. He sees another organization member, but still does not understand their full plan. And he helps save another world, not realizing that every Heartless he defeats is still helping Organization XIII gather hearts. By the end of the Land of Dragon's second visit, the Imperial City is protected, Mulan has once again defended China, Storm Rider is destroyed, and Sora is left with more questions about the man in the black coat. This world's second visit is not just about fighting a giant dragon Heartless. It is about chasing the shadow of Riku, seeing Organization XIII's influence grow, and watching Mulan stand proudly as the hero she became. When Sora, Donald, and Goofy arrive at Beast Castle for the first visit, the world feels darker and more emotional than many of the early Disney worlds. This is not just a castle under attack by Heartless. This is a castle where something is wrong inside the heart of its master. Sora remembers Beast from the first game. Beast had helped Sora at Hollow Bastion, fighting to save Belle even when everything seemed hopeless. Back then, Beast was rough, but his heart was loyal. He cared deeply for Belle, and that love pushed him forward. But when Sora arrives this time, Beast is acting colder and more aggressive than before. He is angry, distant, and suspicious. He does not seem like himself. The castle servants are worried. Belle is concerned, and it quickly becomes clear that someone has been twisting Beast's heart. That someone is Xaldin, a member of Organization XIII. Xaldin is not trying to defeat Beast directly. Instead, He is trying to break him emotionally. He wants Beast to give in to anger, loneliness, and distrust. If Beast's heart becomes consumed by darkness, it could create a powerful Heartless and Nobody. This is what makes Beast Castle important to the larger Kingdom Hearts 2 story. Organization 13 is not only moving through worlds causing trouble, they are studying hearts, manipulating emotions, and trying to use people's pain for their own plans. Sora, Donald, and Goofy begin investigating the castle and soon learn that Beast has locked his servants away. Lumiere, Cogsworth, Mrs. Potts, and Chip have been trapped in the dungeon, and Belle is worried about what Beast has become. The first goal is to reach the dungeon and free them. To get there, Sora's group has to pass through the castle's halls, fighting Heartless along the way. The castle is full of enemies that fit the haunted, enchanted atmosphere of the world, including gargoyle knights, gargoyle warriors, and other Heartless that blend into the castle's structure before attacking. Eventually, Sora reaches the West Hall, where the way forward is blocked by the wardrobe. This moment is more playful than dangerous, but it still fits the castle's enchanted style. Sora has to carefully move the wardrobe out of the way without waking her too abruptly, allowing the group to continue deeper into the castle. Once Sora reaches the dungeon entrance, the first major fight of the visit begins: Thresholder and Possessor. This fight starts with the dungeon door itself coming alive. The Thresholder is basically the possessed door blocking the way, while the Possessor is the Heartless controlling it. Sora cannot simply open the door and move on. He has to fight the door like a boss. The Thresholder attacks with heavy arm swings, dark energy, and attacks from the doorway. Sora has to damage the Thresholder until the release reaction command appears. When Sora uses release, the Possessor is forced out of the door, giving Sora a chance to attack the real Heartless directly. But the fight is not over after the first release. The Possessor returns to the Thresholder, and Sora has to repeat the process. Attack the door, watch for its punches and dark projectiles, use release, then attack the Possessor while it is exposed. Once the Possessor is finally defeated, the path to the dungeon opens. After the battle, Sora frees the servants. Lumiere, Cogsworth, Mrs. Potts, and Chip explain that Beast has been acting strangely. He has become paranoid and angry, and Zaldin's influence is clearly pushing him deeper into darkness. The servants still care about Beast, but they are scared of what he is becoming. To reach Beast's room, Sora has to help the servants open a secret passage. This leads to the lantern puzzle in the Undercroft. Cogsworth holds a crank to lower the lanterns, while Lumiere and Mrs. Potts help light them. Sora has to guide them to each lantern and use the sprinkle reaction command. At the same time, he has to clear obstacles out of the way and keep an eye on Cogsworth's grip. If Cogsworth gets tired, the lanterns rise back up, so Sora has to use Restore to help him recover. This section is not a boss fight, but it is important because it shows the servants working together with Sora. Beast may have pushed them away, but they still want to help save him. The castle is not just a location. It is a home, and the people inside it are fighting to bring Beast back to himself. After opening the passage, Sora travels through the castle and reaches Beast's room. This leads to the next major fight: Beast. This is not a villain battle. Beast is not evil. He is hurt, angry, and being manipulated. Zaldin has filled his mind with doubt, making him believe that Belle and the servants may betray him. Because of that, Beast lashes out at the people trying to help him. The boss fight against Beast is emotional because Sora is fighting a friend. Beast attacks with claw strikes and aggressive charges, constantly moving toward Sora. He is powerful up close, and simply attacking him without thinking can be dangerous. Cogsworth plays a major role in the fight. When the wake-up reaction command appears, Sora can use Cogsworth's help to stun Beast and snap him out of his rage for a moment. Once Beast is stunned, Sora can land combos and slowly weaken him. Later, Sora uses reaction commands like Charge and Get Up to finish the process of bringing Beast back to his senses. After the battle, Beast finally calms down. He realizes that he has been acting cruelly toward the people who care about him. This is one of the main emotional points of the visit. Beast's anger was real, but it was being fed by Zaldin. The organization did not create his pain from nothing. They took something already inside him and pushed it until it nearly consumed him. Once Beast regains control, he joins Sora's party. Now the focus shifts to Belle. Sora, Donald, Goofy, and Beast return to Belle's room, but Belle is missing. The wardrobe explains that Belle went looking for Zaldin. This worries everyone because Zaldin has already shown that he is dangerous and manipulative. The group rushes through the castle and eventually heads toward the ballroom. Inside the ballroom, Belle is attacked by a Heartless called Shadow Stalker. Beast rushes to protect her, and Sora's group arrives just in time to help. Belle manages to escape to safety, but the Heartless turns its attention to Sora and Beast. This begins the final major boss sequence of the first visit, Shadow Stalker and Darkthorn. The first phase is against Shadow Stalker. This Heartless is tricky because it does not fight like a normal enemy. It possesses parts of the ballroom itself. It can take control of the windows, pillars, chandelier, and even the floor, turning the entire room into part of the fight. When Shadow Stalker possesses the windows, dark energy shoots across the ballroom. Sora has to move between the attacks and avoid being trapped by the lines of energy. When it possesses the chandelier becomes dangerous, spinning and attacking across the room. Sora has to damage the possessed object and then use the release reaction command to force Shadow Stalker back into the open. When Shadow Stalker possesses the pillars or floor, the fight becomes even more chaotic. Sora has to keep track of where the Heartless has gone, avoid the environment's attacks, and strike whenever it is exposed. This fight is important because it shows how deeply darkness has invaded Beast Castle. The Heartless is not just standing in the ballroom, it is using the castle itself as a weapon. After Sora damages Shadow Stalker enough, the Heartless breaks free from its chained form and transforms into Darkthorn. Darkthorn is much more aggressive. It is a large, beast-like Heartless that runs around the ballroom, attacks with claws, leaps onto the chandelier, summons smaller, possessor-like enemies, and even turns invisible. This makes the fight feel wild and unpredictable. Even when Darkthorn is invisible, Sora can still lock on and follow it. But the battle becomes much easier when Sora uses reaction commands to expose it. One of the key reaction command sequences is Step Vault, followed by Catch and Pendulum Round. Sora uses the chandelier to swing around and strike Darkthorn, forcing it to become visible and creating an opening for attacks. Darkthorn can also throw Sora across the room, and if the timing is right, Sora can use Slingshot to recover and counterattack. Beast's Limit, Twin Howl, can also deal strong damage, making the battle feel like Sora and Beast are fighting together to protect Belle and the castle. Once Darkthorn is defeated, the danger passes. Belle and Beast reunite, and the castle finally feels calmer. Beast has been pulled back from the edge, Belle is safe, and Zaldin's first attempt to corrupt Beast's heart has failed. But Zaldin is not finished. He leaves the castle, planning to return later with a more direct strategy. This first visit ends with Sora gaining new strength and the path to more worlds opening. Beast Castle First Visit is one of Kingdom Hearts II's strongest early stories because it is not just about defeating a Heartless, it is about emotional manipulation. Zaldin understands that Beast's anger, fear, and loneliness can be used against him. He tries to make Beast believe he is alone. He tries to separate him from Belle and the servants. He tries to turn Beast's heart into a weapon. But Sora's group proves that Beast is not alone. The servants still care about him. Belle still believes in him. And Sora, Donald, and Goofy are willing to fight not just against the Heartless, but for Beast's heart. By the end of the first visit, Beast Castle shows one of Kingdom Hearts II's major themes. Darkness does not always attack from the outside. Sometimes it grows through doubt, anger, and fear. But connection can pull someone back. Love, friendship, and trust can keep a heart from falling. This visit sets up Zaldin as a serious Organization XIII threat, introduces one of the most memorable early boss fights with Shadow Stalker and Darkthorn, and shows that saving a world is not always about sealing darkness away. Sometimes, saving a world means helping someone remember they are loved. When Sora, Donald, and Goofy return to Beast's castle for the second visit, the world feels calmer at first. The darkness from the first visit has not fully disappeared, but Beast is trying to do better. He knows he hurt Belle and the servants by letting his anger control him, and now he wants to make things right. This visit begins with Beast preparing something special for Belle: a ball. The castle is brighter than before, and the mood is more hopeful. Beast wants this dance to be a chance to reconnect with Belle and show that he is trying to change. After everything that happened during the first visit, this moment matters. Xaldin had already manipulated Beast once, feeding his loneliness and anger until Beast pushed away the people who cared about him. Now, Beast is trying to repair that damage. Sora, Donald, and Goofy arrive just in time to see the castle preparing for the evening. Donald, being Donald, gets excited and wants to join the ball himself. But before the peaceful moment can fully happen, Organization XIII interrupts again. Xaldin returns. This time, he brings Dragoon Nobodies with him. These Nobodies are dangerous because they fight with long lances, jump high into the air, and attack from a distance. They are also connected to one of the most important mechanics of this visit, the Learn Reaction command. When the Dragoons attack, Sora can use Learn to copy their jump technique and stock jump commands. These jump commands replace Sora's normal attack command temporarily, allowing him to leap into the air and strike enemies from above. While Sora, Donald, and Goofy are busy fighting the Dragoons, Xaldin uses the distraction to steal Beast's enchanted rose. This is devastating. The rose is not just a decoration. It is tied to Beast's curse. If the last petal falls before Beast learns to love and be loved in return, he will remain a beast forever. Xaldin understands how important the rose is, so he steals it to push Beast back into despair. And it works. Beast becomes angry again. Instead of staying calm or trusting Belle, he loses patience and accuses her of giving Xaldin the chance to take the rose. This moment shows that Beast is still struggling. He has grown since the first visit, but the fear of losing everything still controls him. He is terrified of the curse, terrified of being abandoned, and terrified that he will never become human again. Belle is hurt by his words. Beast, ashamed and angry at himself, tells Belle that she should leave the castle so she does not have to deal with his temper and his ugliness anymore. It is not what he truly wants. But Beast is falling back into the same old pattern, pushing people away because he believes he is too broken to be loved. Sora refuses to let that stand. He calls Beast out for giving up so easily and for treating Belle unfairly. Sora understands that Xaldin is trying to break him, and he knows Beast cannot let the organization win by surrendering to anger and hopelessness. Beast decides to go speak to Belle again, but before the group can fully fix things, Xaldin appears in the entrance hall with the rose. This scene is important because Xaldin makes his goal clear. He wants Beast to fall into despair. If Beast gives in completely, his heart could be consumed by darkness, creating a powerful Heartless. And if that happens, Beast's Nobody could also be born. That is what Organization XIII is after: powerful Nobodies and the hearts released by Sora's Keyblade. Xaldin vanishes again, forcing Sora's group to chase him. The party heads outside and sees Belle on the balcony, heartbroken. Sora and the others warn her to get back inside where it is safe. But as she moves, she notices the rose nearby. For a moment, it looks like there is hope. Belle picks up the rose, proud that she has recovered it. Then Xaldin appears and grabs her. Now he has both Belle and the rose. He takes them to the bridge, forcing Beast into an impossible choice. Xaldin offers him a cruel decision: save Belle or save the rose. To Beast, both matter deeply. Belle is the person he loves. The rose is tied to his curse and his chance to become human again. Xaldin believes this choice will break him, but Belle proves she is not helpless. Before Beast can make the choice, Belle elbows Xaldin, breaks free, snatches the rose, and escapes. This is one of Belle's strongest moments in Kingdom Hearts 2. She saves herself and protects the rose at the same time, ruining Xaldin's plan. Now Xaldin has nothing left but a fight. This begins the main boss battle of Beast Castle's second visit, Xaldin. Xaldin is one of the toughest story bosses in Kingdom Hearts 2. He fights with multiple lances and surrounds himself with wind, making it dangerous for Sora to attack recklessly. At the beginning of the fight, Zaldin often protects himself with a wind barrier. If Sora tries to rush in and attack normally, he can be knocked back and punished quickly. The key to this fight is patience and reaction timing. When Zaldin attacks with his lances, the Learn Reaction command appears for a brief moment. Sora can use Learn to stock jump commands, up to 9 at a time. Once Sora has several jumps stored, he can unleash them on Zaldin. Jump lets Sora leap high into the air and come crashing down, breaking through Zaldin's defenses and dealing strong damage. This makes the fight different from a normal boss battle. Sora cannot just mash attacks and hope to win. He has to watch Zaldin, wait for his lance attacks, use Learn at the right moment, stock jump commands, and then strike when the opening appears. As the battle continues, Zaldin becomes more aggressive. He can jump high into the air and send his lances down from above. Sora has to keep moving, dodge the falling attacks, and stay ready to use Learn when possible. Zaldin also uses wind projectiles and fast teleporting attacks, forcing the player to stay alert. Later in the fight, Zaldin becomes even more dangerous. He can create a massive dragon-like formation with his lances and fire a huge sweeping wind beam across the bridge. This attack can tear through the party if the player is not ready. Sora needs to avoid it with movement, reflect, or careful defensive timing. The fight is intense because Zaldin is not just physically strong. He represents emotional pressure. He has spent this entire world trying to make Beast collapse under fear, anger, and despair. Now Beast, Sora, Donald, and Goofy are fighting him directly, not only to save the castle, but to prove that Beast's heart is stronger than Zaldin believes. Once Zaldin is defeated, he fades away into nothingness. This is a major moment because Zaldin becomes one of the Organization XIII members who is destroyed during Sora's journey, and unlike many others, he falls inside a Disney world after trying to corrupt that world's main character. With Zaldin gone, Belle and Beast reunite. Belle gives Beast the rose back, and Beast finally shows a softer side. He is still awkward and nervous, but he is grateful that Belle is safe. At first, Belle offers to leave if that is what Beast still wants, but Beast finally begins to say what he truly feels. With encouragement from Sora and the others, he admits that he wants her to stay. Belle accepts. Then, the ball that Zaldin interrupted finally happens. Beast and Belle dance together in the courtyard, and the castle finally gets the peaceful moment it was waiting for. This ending is important because it shows that Zaldin failed. He tried to use fear, anger, and despair to pull Beast into darkness, but Beast chooses love instead. He chooses Belle. He chooses trust. He chooses to stop pushing people away. At the end of the visit, Sora receives the Rumbling Rose Keyblade, and after defeating Zaldin, he also gains an upgrade to Reflect Magic, turning it into Reflera. Beast Castle's second visit is one of the strongest emotional Disney World conclusions in Kingdom Hearts 2. It takes everything from the first visit, Beast's anger, Belle's patience, Zaldin's manipulation, and the importance of the rose, and brings it to a powerful ending. The first visit was about saving Beast from his own rage. The second visit is about proving he will not fall back into despair. Zaldin believes Beast's heart can be broken. He believes love can be twisted into fear and that fear can become darkness. But Belle proves she is stronger than Zaldin expects, and Beast proves that even someone struggling with anger and shame can still choose love. By the end of Beast Castle's second visit, the rose is safe, Belle is safe, Zaldin is defeated, and Beast finally takes another step toward becoming the person he wants to be. This world story is not just about a boss fight on a bridge. It is about trust. It is about fear. It is about learning not to push away the people who love you. And most of all, it is about Beast realizing that the way to break the curse is not by protecting the rose out of fear, but by protecting Belle with love. When Sora, Donald, and Goofy return to Hollow Bastion for the second visit, the story slows down compared to the first visit. This is not a major Hollow Bastion battle like the Bailey Gate defense, and it is not yet the huge war that will happen later. Instead, this visit brings Sora back to Merlin's house and reconnects him with one of the softest worlds in the series, 100 Acre Wood. By this point in Kingdom Hearts 2, Sora has already started traveling through other worlds again. He has fought Heartless, Nobodies, and Organization XIII's influence, but Merlin calls the group back to Hollow Bastion because something important is happening with Pooh's storybook. This is meaningful because Sora already visited 100 Acrewood back in Kingdom Hearts 1. In that game, Pooh's world was a peaceful break from the darkness. It was not about giant bosses or world-ending danger. It was about friendship, helping Pooh find his friends, and restoring pages to a book that had been damaged. So, when Sora returns to Merlin's house in Kingdom Hearts 2 and sees the book again, it feels like a reunion. Inside Merlin's house, Sora, Donald, and Goofy are told to examine the book. When Sora enters it, he is taken back to the 100-acre wood, beginning with Pooh's house. The moment is calm at first. Sora walks into Pooh's world and sees Pooh again for the first time since the events of Kingdom Hearts 1. This should be a happy reunion. Sora approaches Pooh and greets him, and for a brief moment, it feels like the same gentle world from the first game has returned. Pooh's house is quiet, warm, and simple. It feels completely different from Hollow Bastion's rebuilding town, the Nobodies in the streets, or the battles happening across the worlds. But that peace does not last. Before Sora can truly settle back into Pooh's world, he is suddenly thrown out of the book. Back outside in Merlin's house, Heartless have appeared. This is important because the Heartless are not just attacking Sora directly. The 100-acre wood is supposed to be a peaceful world, but now even this gentle place is being damaged by the darkness spreading across the worlds. Sora, Donald, and Goofy have to fight the Heartless outside Merlin's house. The enemies include shadows and soldiers, making this a short battle rather than a full boss fight. It is not a huge dramatic encounter, but it matters because it shows how vulnerable the book is. Even something as soft and innocent as Pooh's world can be disrupted by the Heartless. After defeating the Heartless, Sora goes back into the book. But something has changed. The pages are gone. The world inside the book has been emptied out, and when Sora returns to Pooh's house, the reunion becomes heartbreaking. Pooh no longer remembers him. This moment connects strongly to Kingdom Hearts 2's larger themes. The whole game is about memory, identity, and what happens when important connections are damaged. Sora himself has just woken up after a year of sleep, with missing memories of Castle Oblivion. Roxas had to disappear so Sora could wake up. Naminé's powers were tied to changing and restoring memories. And now, in this quiet little book, Sora experiences another version of that same pain. Pooh forgetting Sora is not a battle in the normal sense, but emotionally, it hurts. Sora remembers Pooh. The player remembers Pooh. But Pooh looks at Sora like he's a stranger. This turns 100-acre wood into a side story about restoring friendship through memory. The Heartless have taken the torn pages from the book, and without those pages, Pooh's world cannot fully return to normal. Merlin explains that Sora will need to find the missing pages scattered throughout other worlds. Each torn page will restore another part of 100-acre wood, bringing back more of Pooh's friends and more of the memories that were lost. Before Sora leaves, Merlin gives him the baseball charm. This item unlocks the ability to use summons, and the first summon Sora receives in Kingdom Hearts 2 is Chicken Little. Chicken Little may seem like a strange summon compared to the darker story happening around Sora, but he fits this part of the game because this visit is about support, friendship, and small helpers appearing when Sora needs them. Chicken Little can help Sora in battle by drawing enemies in with his whistle, stunning enemies with baseballs and firecrackers, and even restoring some of Sora's health. So even though he comes from a lighter Disney story, he becomes useful during combat, especially when Sora is dealing with groups of enemies. Story-wise, getting Chicken Little here works because Sora has just seen how fragile peaceful worlds can be. Pooh's book has been damaged, Pooh has lost his memory, and the Heartless have stolen the pages. Merlin giving Sora a summon charm feels like a way of giving him extra help for the journey ahead. By the end of this Hollow Bastion visit, there is no major boss defeated, no keyhole sealed, and no organization member confronted directly. But the story still matters. Sora has reunited with Pooh, only to realize Pooh no longer remembers him. The 100-acre wood has been damaged, and Sora now has a new goal: collect the torn pages and restore the book piece by piece. Merlin gives Sora the baseball charm, unlocking Chicken Little as a summon. And Hollow Bastion continues to act as one of the most important hub worlds in Kingdom Hearts 2, connecting Sora not only to the main Organization XIII story, but also to smaller emotional stories about friendship and memory. This visit reminds us that Kingdom Hearts is not always about huge battles. Sometimes the most important moments are quiet ones. Sometimes the pain is not losing a fight, but being forgotten by someone who once knew you. And for Sora, restoring Pooh's book becomes another way of protecting the heart of a world. Not with a massive boss battle, not with a dramatic final clash, but by finding the missing pages, returning memories, and helping an old friend remember him again. When Sora, Donald, and Goofy arrive at Olympus Coliseum for the first visit in Kingdom Hearts 2, they do not land at the bright Coliseum gates like they might expect. Instead, they accidentally arrive in the underworld, which immediately changes the tone of the world. This is not the heroic arena from the first game at first. This is Hades' domain. Dark, gloomy, and filled with Heartless. Right away, Sora, Donald, and Goofy see Megara being chased by Heartless called rabid dogs. Sora steps in to help her, and after the Heartless are defeated, Meg explains that she came to the underworld looking for Hades. Hercules has been pushing himself too hard as a hero, constantly saving people and fighting monsters, and Meg wants Hades to leave him alone. Sora offers to go find Hades instead. Before going deeper, the game introduces one of the most important mechanics of this world, the Underworld Curse. Because Sora is inside the Underworld, his drive gauge is locked. That means he cannot use drive forms or summons while the curse is active. This matters because Kingdom Hearts 2 has just introduced drive forms as one of Sora's biggest new powers. But here, the game takes them away. Sora has to rely on normal attacks, magic items, reaction commands, and party support. As Sora, Donald, and Goofy travel through the Cave of the Dead and deeper into the underworld, they fight Heartless like rabid dogs, shadows, lance soldiers, hookbats, and other enemies. The path leads them to Hades' chamber, where Hades is already planning something. Hades has summoned Auron, a powerful warrior from Final Fantasy X. Hades wants to use Auron as his champion to defeat Hercules, but Auron refuses to be controlled. He does not want to be Hades' puppet, and that immediately makes him stand out as someone strong-willed and honorable. When Sora's group arrives, Hades becomes angry. Sora tries to fight him, but there is one major problem. Hades is invincible in the underworld. This is not a normal fight where Sora can simply attack until the boss goes down. Hades cannot be damaged here, and the game makes it clear that Sora is not ready to beat him inside his own domain. The only option is to escape. Auron joins the party, and the group begins a retreat through the underworld while Hades chases them. This escape sequence is important because it turns the underworld into a pressure-filled battlefield. Barriers block the path, and Sora has to defeat waves of Heartless to make each barrier disappear while Hades continues attacking from behind. Hades throws fireballs, swipes at the party, and pressures Sora the entire way. Since Hades cannot be hurt, the goal is not to defeat him. The goal is to stay alive, clear the Heartless, and keep moving. Auron is extremely helpful here because his attacks are strong, and his Bushido limit can deal heavy damage to groups of enemies. Eventually, Sora's group makes it back toward the underworld entrance, but Hades is not finished. He sends Cerberus after them. This leads to the first true boss fight of Olympus Coliseum's first visit, Cerberus. Cerberus is Hades' massive three-headed watchdog, and Sora has to fight him with Auron while Donald and Goofy are temporarily separated from the battle. This makes the fight feel more dangerous because Sora does not have his usual full party. Auron is strong, but he is not a healer like Donald, so the player has to pay attention to HP and use items or cure carefully. Cerberus opens the battle by leaping across the room and creating a shockwave when he lands. Sora has to jump over the shockwave or get away from the impact. Cerberus can also spin his body to knock Sora back, bite with all three heads, and later fire dark projectiles that track the player. The key to this fight is watching Cerberus's heads. When the two side heads move inward and try to trap Sora, reaction commands appear. If timed correctly, Sora can use evade, then jump, and then dog paddle. This sequence lets Sora escape Cerberus's bite, counterattack, and temporarily stun the boss. When Cerberus is stunned, Sora and Auron can go in with combos or use Auron's Bushido limit for big damage. After Cerberus is defeated, Sora and the group finally reach the real Olympus Coliseum area. Compared to the underworld, the Coliseum feels bright and heroic. Sora reunites with Hercules and Phil, but it is clear that Hercules is tired. He has been working non-stop as a hero, fighting monsters and protecting people, and Hades' constant schemes are wearing him down. Phil decides Sora needs to train, so Sora takes part in Phil's training. This is not a boss fight, but it is still part of the story progression. Sora has to break pots and collect orbs within a time limit. First, he clears the practice course, and then he clears the harder Maniac course. This section is a callback to training in the first Kingdom Hearts, but it also shows Sora returning to the hero training side of Olympus after escaping the underworld. After Phil's training, the situation becomes serious again. Sora learns that Meg has been captured, and the Olympus Stone has been stolen. The Olympus Stone is important because it can protect Sora from the underworld curse and allow him to use his drive gauge there. Without it, Sora cannot use drive forms or summons in the underworld. So Sora, Donald, and Goofy head back down into the underworld to rescue Meg and recover the stolen stone. With the path to the underworld caverns now open, the group travels through new areas filled with Heartless. The caverns are darker and more maze-like than the earlier Cave of the Dead. Falling rocks, foggy paths, and stronger enemies make the area feel more dangerous. Eventually, Sora reaches the underworld caverns atrium, where he finds a hooded figure from Organization XIII. This figure is Demyx. Demyx is very different from many other organization members. He acts nervous, goofy, and unserious, almost like he does not want to fight at all. But he is still dangerous because he is working with Organization XIII and he has the Olympus Stone. Instead of a full boss fight, Demyx gives Sora a timed challenge. He summons water forms, and Sora has to defeat 100 water forms within 80 seconds. This event is one of the first times the player sees Demyx's style. He fights through music and water, creating copies that move around the battlefield. The key mechanic here is the Wild Dance reaction command. When Sora hits certain water forms, Wild Dance becomes available, allowing him to grab one and swing it around to destroy many forms at once. The challenge is not about surviving heavy damage. It is about speed and control. Sora has to clear the forms quickly before time runs out. Once the challenge is complete, Demyx leaves, and Sora recovers the Olympus Stone. With the Olympus Stone back, the underworld curse no longer blocks Sora's drive gauge. That means Sora can use drive forms again while in the underworld, which becomes important for the next battle. The group heads deeper into the underworld to rescue Meg, reaching an area called the Lock and then entering the Well of Captivity. There, Pete is waiting. Pete has Meg trapped, and this begins the next major battle sequence. The first part is not simply about defeating Pete. Sora must protect Meg from Pete and the Heartless. Meg has a damage gauge, and if she takes too much damage, the battle is lost. This makes the fight different from a normal boss battle, because Sora has to split his attention. He must defeat Hookbats and other Heartless before they can hurt Meg, while also keeping Pete occupied. Pete attacks with bombs, rolling explosive balls, punches, and other clumsy but dangerous moves. If he throws a large rolling bomb, Sora can guard it back at him. After Meg is protected long enough, Hercules arrives and helps turn the situation around. Then the fight shifts into the second phase, a direct boss battle against Pete, this time with Hercules joining the party. Now the objective is to defeat Pete before the timer runs out. Heartless still appear during the fight, but Pete is the main target. He uses many of the same attacks, including explosive projectiles and a protective barrier. When Pete hides inside his barrier, Sora can use the pinball reaction command to knock him into Hercules, breaking the shield and stunning him. Pete can also summon or drop a large rock. When that happens, Sora can use Hercules' Aura Guard reaction command to protect himself and create an opening. This fight is built around teamwork with Hercules, showing that even though Hercules is exhausted, He is still a true hero when someone needs him. Pete is defeated, but Hades' plan is not over. The group returns to the Coliseum and finds that Hades has unleashed the Hydra and it has wrecked the Coliseum. This leads to the final boss of Olympus Coliseum's first visit, Hydra. The Hydra fight is one of the most memorable boss fights in Kingdom Hearts 2 because it has multiple phases and several cinematic reaction commands. At first, the Hydra only has one head. It attacks with tail swipes, flame pillars, and dark orbs that rise from the ground. Sora has to avoid the attacks, hit the head when it lowers, and deplete its HP. Once the head is stunned, the Vanquish reaction command appears. Sora uses Vanquish to cut off the head. But because this is the Hydra, cutting off one head only makes things worse. In the next phase, the Hydra grows 3 heads. Each head attacks separately, biting and slamming into the ground. Sora has to damage each head and use Vanquish when its HP reaches 0. But if the player is too slow, the heads can recover, making the fight drag on. This is where Phil's famous moment comes in. Phil shouts for Sora to get up on the Hydra's back. Sora can climb onto the Hydra and use the Phil 1-2 reaction command. Phil throws an urn, and Sora follows up with Urninator, slamming the urn into the Hydra and stunning the heads. This creates a big opening to attack and vanquish them. After all 3 heads are dealt with, the Hydra enters its final phase and grows 7 heads. Now the fight becomes much more chaotic. The Hydra uses tail swipes, flame pillars, dark orbs, and multi-head bite attacks. Sora has to stay mobile, attack when the head's lower, and watch for reaction commands. During this phase, Pegasus can appear, allowing Sora to use Pegasus Run. This lets Sora fly across the arena and attack the Hydra's heads in a cinematic sequence. Meg also helps from the side of the arena by dropping HP, MP, and drive orbs, giving Sora a way to recover during the fight. Once the Hydra's HP is finally depleted, Sora uses Vanquish one last time to finish the battle. After the Hydra is defeated, Olympus Coliseum is saved for now. Hercules has been pushed to his limit, Meg is safe, Hades' plan has failed, and Sora has proven himself once again as a hero in training. Sora receives the Thunder element, unlocking Thunder magic, and he also receives the Hero's Crest Keyblade. The world's path opens, and Sora's journey continues toward the next destination. Olympus Coliseum's first visit is important because it does several things at once. It brings back Hercules, Meg, Phil, Hades, and the Coliseum setting from the first game, but it also expands the world by making the underworld a major location. It introduces Auron as a serious, powerful ally who refuses to be controlled by Hades. It shows how dangerous Hades is in his own realm by making him invincible at first. It gives Sora his first real taste of fighting, while restricted by a world-specific curse. And it introduces Demyx, showing that Organization XIII is already interfering in the Disney worlds. The bosses also build the story naturally. Cerberus turns the escape from Hades into a desperate survival fight. Demyx's water forms introduce Organization XIII's strange methods and recover the Olympus Stone. Pete turns Meg's rescue into a protection battle and then a team fight with Hercules. Hydra becomes the huge heroic finale, forcing Sora, Hercules, Phil, Meg, and Pegasus to all play a role in saving the Coliseum. By the end of the first visit, Sora has helped rescue Meg, recovered the Olympus Stone, defeated Hades' monsters, and protected the Coliseum. But the story also makes one thing clear. Hercules is tired, Hades is not finished, and Olympus Coliseum will need Sora's help again later. When Sora, Donald, and Goofy return to Olympus Coliseum for the second visit, the world is no longer focused on the Hydra destroying the Coliseum. This time, the story moves back into the underworld, where Hades has prepared a new scheme. During the first visit, Hercules was already exhausted from constantly acting as a hero. Hades tried to wear him down by using Meg, Pete, Cerberus, Demyx, and the Hydra. But even after all of that failed, Hades still refuses to give up. Now, Hades has reopened the Hades Cup inside the Underdrome. At first, this sounds like another tournament, but Hades is not doing this just for fun. He wants to force Hercules into a situation where he can finally break him. Hades knows Hercules is tired, and he knows that if he keeps pushing him through fights, pressure, and emotional traps, Hercules may eventually collapse. When Sora arrives, he meets Hercules and Meg again. Hercules is still trying to act strong, but the pressure is clearly weighing on him. Meg is worried about him, and Sora can tell that something is wrong. Then Hades appears and reveals the situation. He wants Sora's group to enter the Hades Cup, and to make sure they cooperate, he threatens Meg. This immediately forces Sora, Donald, Goofy, and Hercules into the tournament. They cannot simply walk away, because Meg's safety is now being used as leverage. Sora talks to Pain to enter the first round of the Hades Cup. The first round is a battle against groups of Heartless, including enemies like Driller Moles, Tornado Steps, and a Morning Star. Hercules fights alongside Sora, turning the match into a team battle. The enemies are not as dramatic as the Hydra, but the point of the fight is to show that Hades is using the tournament to wear everyone down. After the first round is cleared, Sora talks to Pain again and enters the second round. This round brings more Heartless, including Minute Bombs, Crescendos, and Crimson Jazz enemies. The Minute Bombs are dangerous because they can explode if Sora does not deal with them quickly. Crescendos can support other enemies, and Crimson Jazz Heartless attack with fire and explosive magic. Sora has to keep moving, defeat the support enemies, and prevent the arena from becoming too chaotic. After the second round, the story shifts toward Oron. Oron is supposed to be a strong warrior who refuses to be controlled. During the first visit, Hades tried to make him serve as his champion, but Oron rejected him. That was important because Oron's whole character is built around having his own path, his own code, and his own story. But now, something is different. Oron is acting strangely. He does not seem like himself, and Sora's group realizes Hades may have found a way to control him after all. The group heads into the Cave of the Dead and sees Hades speaking with Oron. This reveals Hades' trick. He is using Oron's statue to control Oron's free will. This is one of the most important story moments in Olympus Coliseum's second visit. Hades is not only attacking Hercules physically, he is trying to turn another warrior into a weapon. He wants to force Oron to fight for him, even though Oron would never choose that on his own. Sora tries to stop Oron, but Oron is being pulled deeper into Hades' control. The group realizes they have to find the statue and break Hades' hold over him. Hercules seems to understand what Hades is doing, and the party decides to go straight to Hades' chamber to recover Oron's statue. Sora, Donald, and Goofy travel through the Cave of the Dead, fighting Heartless along the way. The path back to Hades' chamber feels like an infiltration mission. This is not just about winning tournament rounds anymore. Sora is now trying to save Oron before Hades can use him in the finals. When Sora reaches Hades' chamber, he finds Oron's statue. But Hades does not leave it unprotected. A large group of Dusks appears, turning the room into a nobody battle. This matters because Olympus Coliseum is mostly centered on Hades, Heartless, and Hercules' story, but the appearance of Nobodies reminds us that the larger Kingdom Hearts 2 conflict is still happening. Organization XIII's creatures are spreading through the worlds, even in places controlled by Disney villains. Sora defeats the Dusks and retrieves Oron's statue. This allows the group to return to the Underdrome and continue the Hades Cup. Now they have a chance to break Hades' control over Oron before the final match goes too far. Then the story reaches the final stage of Hades' plan. Hades wants Hercules and Oron to face each other. This is cruel because both of them are heroes in their own way. Hercules is the protector of Olympus. Oron is a warrior who refuses to be anyone's puppet. Hades wants to twist that into a forced battle, making Hercules fight someone who is not acting by choice. At first, it looks like Hades may succeed. Oron stands against Hercules, still under Hades' influence. But once Sora has the statue, Oron's true self begins to break through. Oron refuses to let Hades write his story. This is the emotional center of Olympus Coliseum's second visit. Oron is not just another guest character. His role is about free will. Hades wants to control him, define him, and use him as a tool. But Oron's identity is stronger than that. He chooses his own path. With Oron freed, Hades loses control of the situation. So Hades decides to fight Sora himself. This begins the main boss fight of Olympus Coliseum's second visit, Hades. At the start of the battle, Hades is still protected by his underworld power. He is invincible at first, and Sora cannot truly damage him. This connects back to the first visit, where Sora learned that Hades is nearly impossible to hurt inside his own realm. Sora attacks him a few times, but it does not work. Then Hercules joins the battle, and everything changes. Hercules brings the power needed to weaken Hades. During the fight, Hades switches between his normal blue state and his angry red state. When he is red, he becomes invincible again and surrounds himself with flame. This is where Hercules' Aura Sphere reaction command becomes the key to the battle. When Hercules creates glowing orbs of light, Sora can use Aura Sphere to send those orbs flying toward Hades. The light knocks Hades out of his red-hot invincible state and forces him back into his blue form. Once Hades is vulnerable, Sora can rush in and attack with combos, magic, and limits. The fight becomes a rhythm of survival and timing. When Hades turns red, do not waste time attacking him normally. Use Aura Sphere. Knock him out of his rage. Then attack while he is open. Hades attacks with claw swipes, fireballs, flame pillars, teleporting movement, and powerful fire-based attacks. Later in the fight, he can summon a huge fireball that rains flames across the arena, forcing Sora to dodge while still watching for openings. This battle feels different from the Hydra fight. The Hydra was a giant monster battle, full of cinematic reaction commands and huge heads filling the arena. Hades is more personal. He has been behind Olympus Coliseum's problems from the beginning. He manipulated Meg, tried to control Orin, threatened Hercules, and used the Hades Cup to create pressure. Now, Sora, Hercules, Donald, Goofy, and Oron are finally pushing back against him directly. Once Hades is defeated, his plan falls apart. Orin is free from his control. Hercules proves that he is still a true hero, even after everything Hades put him through. Meg is safe, and the Hades Cup scheme is stopped. After the battle, Sora receives the Guardian Soul Keyblade, a weapon connected to Oron. This reward fits the story because Oron's role in this visit is one of the strongest parts of the world. He was nearly turned into Hades' puppet, but his will was restored, and his spirit becomes symbolized through the Keyblade Sora receives. Olympus Coliseum's second visit is important because it gives closure to the underworld story that began in the first visit. The first visit showed Hades trying to weaken Hercules from the outside. He used monsters, traps, Pete, Demex, and the Hydra to keep Hercules exhausted. The second visit shows Hades attacking from a different angle. He reopens the Hades Cup, threatens Meg, and tries to control Oron's free will. Instead of just throwing monsters at Sora, Hades tries to manipulate people and force heroes into fighting each other. But he fails because Oron refuses to be controlled, Hercules refuses to stop being a hero, and Sora refuses to let Hades use people as pieces in his game. By the end of Olympus Coliseum's second visit, Hades is defeated for now, Oron's story is his own again, Hercules has reclaimed his strength, and Olympus Coliseum is finally safe. This world's second visit is not just about winning a tournament. It is about freedom. It is about refusing to let someone else control your story. And it is about proving that a true hero is not defined by how many battles they win, but by whether they keep standing up for others when everything is trying to break them down. Thanks for watching. I'll try to have part 2 out soon, so keep an eye out for that. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for notifications. See you in the next one. Disney Castle is next, but the real adventure there leads into Timeless River.